For Christmas this year I was lucky enough to get a Bachmann Rheneas, so this is my quick review on it. First of all I had to build a little layout to review it on, so here is the Crovansgate Sheds, here is Glenock Station, we have this curved bit of line with a nice little bit of scenery here. This farm area, which I think was seen in a Sir Handel episode from memory, and here's a quick overview of the layout, so let's get into it. And I'd also like to point out that I've made some changes to my track here. Normally I use N-scale track, however the show, when they first did narrow gauge, used O-scale track and took out every second sleeper. So what I've done is used N-scale track and taken out every second sleeper to make my own version of 009 scale track. And you can see here my version of 009 next to some standard N-gauge track, and I think it looks quite nice. Here is Rheneas being pushed in on a flatbed, and you can see he has the new style of packaging. It has a window at the front for easy visibility of Rheneas. You can see all the little details there. I paid $100 for this model. The side simply says Rheneas and the age restriction, which is 14+. I think that's more of a legal thing than anything else. On the back we've got a little area here telling us we can get Scarloey and a bunch of other rolling stock from the Bachmann line. I have most of this except for the slate trucks, of which I made my own because I wasn't happy with the Bachmann version. And here you can see my own version of the slate trucks, which are for sale on Shapeways, shameless plug. So now let's get Rheneas out of the packaging, and I'd like to apologise for the focus on this video. I'm using a different camera and it's got manual focus only, so it's going to be out of focus sometimes, like in this shot, but otherwise it should be alright most of the time. Anyway, you can see here he's got his standard block of ice packaging, which is how most of the Bachmann narrow gauge stuff comes nowadays. We've also got a bunch of papers to do with warranty and like instruction manuals and whatnot. So now we can finally get Rheneas out of his box, made from clear plastic so that you can see everything inside without having to open it anyway. So it's in two pieces. You pull the top one off and Rheneas rests in the bottom piece. Then you can simply pull him out by holding onto a part of him, like so, and out he comes. This is what it looks like straight out of the box, ready to run. First impressions are important, and my first impression was that this is a very good model. I was very impressed with it the first time I saw it. One thing I do to all my models though is remove the front coupler, because it's big and bulky and makes it look a lot worse than it otherwise would. So here is what he looks like without the front coupler. So Rheneas without a front coupler looks a lot better in my opinion. A lot more realistic. Sorry about the focus there. Removing the coupler does mean there's going to be this rectangular hole in the front, but I can live with that because it looks a lot better than having a coupler in the front. Also, if you're using the standard Bachmann or Pico rolling stock, then the dummy hook can act as a coupler as well. Anyway, the pros about this model. The orange isn't as garish in real life as it is on film, which is a good thing, and the brass detailing and everything on the whistle and whatnot look quite nice. On first inspection, there doesn't seem to be anything wrong with it. That said, there are some problems that Bachmann Scarloey also had. For example, the coupling rods, the slide valve section of the coupling rods is made of plastic instead of metal, so it looks different to the rest of it. And the pinstriping on the cylinders doesn't go all the way to the top of the model, as you can see in this shot. But that's not too much of a problem on this model because the running board covers that. Also, a lot of the time, the funnel looks too thin, which isn't a good thing. I think Bachmann Scarloey also had that problem, and I think some people tried to fix that, so that's a point against it, I'm afraid. Also, on my model, the funnel here is chipped, so you can see some orange plastic coming through, which shouldn't be there. And on the side of the coal bunker here, you can see a dot of orange instead of black, as it should be, which is where the paint has been scraped off. I'm presuming this is by the packaging because it hasn't been taken out of the packaging before now, so that's a point against it again. And I think that's happened again on the right side of the cab door. There are also slight imperfections underneath the smoke box on this model, And in this shot you can see better how the slide valve looks different to the rest of the coupling rods, because it's made of plastic. And on my model, the front of the whistle seems to have a white bit where it looks like the plastic that the whistle's made out of has been snapped off, probably during the making process. It's not that noticeable, but I did notice it. The back of the model does have nice detailing like the lamp and the water cap there, but the left side of it is lifted up off of the chassis, which isn't supposed to happen. It's very slight, but I did notice it. Another good thing, on the other hand, is the fact that on this face, the eyes are more white than the rest of the face, which is the problem the Scarloe model had, so it's nice to see that's been fixed. Also, the cab windows are open on this model, which is nice because Scarloe didn't have that, and I, in my last review of Scarloe, said that that was a bit of a pitfall there, but this is nice. Now for the first run, I originally planned to use the old type of Hornby controllers, but this makes the model judder awfully at most speeds, so I opted to use the new style Hornby controller instead, which works a lot better, but I had to rig it up using some very shoddy methods, like taping some spare wire to the end of the Hornby controller, and then wrapping the other end of the wire around the clips for power. So this was the first run with the new style of Hornby controller, and we'll see in a second here how its slow speed performance is. Here we go, and it is very smooth indeed. I'm really happy with this. This is using the silver Hornby controller, and that is notoriously good, I've found, at doing slow speed, so that's good. So I thought we now would get it running with some rolling stock, and these trucks here are ones I made and I sell online on my Shapeways store, the link for which is in the description. I use these ones because I think they're a lot nicer than the standard Bachmann ones. And nevertheless, let's just watch some nice shots of him going around this little layout, so here we go. These narrow gauge coaches are also ones that I sell online. I would like to point out, however, that the shoddy looking one you see at the front was printed by my own printer, not Shapeways printers, which means if you buy one yourself, it won't look rough like the first one, it will look nice and smooth like the second coach there. And just to wrap up, we've got a bit of a size comparison between Rheneas and Bachmann Thomas, and my Thomas has been slightly modified, but the general proportions are still the same, of course. And I'd like to quickly tell you that a lot of the rolling stock you saw in this video is available to purchase online from my Shapeways store called Elsbridge Model Shop, the link for which is in the description. You can go there and buy everything you need. So thank you for watching, everybody. I do hope this video wasn't too boring for you. And I will be back soon with something else. Not entirely sure what yet. Stick around and you'll find out. Thank you, and goodbye.